If you're a retiree or assisting an elderly parent with money matters in America, what you're about to learn in the next few minutes is absolutely critical. A flurry of recent updates and official statements has left countless people bewildered about the state of relief payments, tax agency moves, and the potential impact on Social Security, disability income, and retirement funds. The figure $2,700 is popping up everywhere, sparking questions about who gets it, what it truly is, and when it might show up. We're going to hit pause on the chaos right now. We'll walk through this entire situation piece by piece, ensuring you walk away with crystal clear knowledge of the facts, the necessary steps to take, and how to safeguard the benefits you depend on. First, let's tackle the biggest point of confusion head on. This $2,700 amount people are talking about is not a universal new stimulus payment being mailed to all seniors automatically. In reality, that number points to a mix of various funds, reconciliations, and repayments that certain older Americans might be in line to collect, based on their specific circumstances. We're looking at overdue tax benefits, agency corrections, missed benefit payments, and special one-time reconciliations currently being handled. For some individuals, these separate items can collectively reach a sum in the neighborhood of $2,700. For others, the total could be less, or the situation might not apply to them at all. Grasping the origin of this headline number is essential to avoid being misled by false claims or exaggerated promises. A primary contributor to these funds involves the tax agency's examination of previous year's tax submissions. Throughout the last year, the IRS has been rectifying mistakes connected to earlier stimulus-related benefits, recovery rebates, and other refundable credits that were either overlooked or inaccurately calculated on past returns. Many older adults didn't file tax returns due to limited income, or they filed forms that didn't fully capture their qualification for these credits. As the tax office wraps up these reviews, they are frequently issuing funds on their own, without requiring seniors to submit new paperwork. These disbursements can vary from several $100s to more than $2,000, based on what was initially missed. Another element feeding into the $2,700 conversation stems from Social Security benefit reconciliations. When Social Security audits files and discovers payment shortfalls caused by belated adjustments, corrected earnings reports, or benefit recomputations, they distribute past due payments. These aren't handouts or stimulus checks. This is money that was rightfully earned earlier but wasn't paid out. For retirees on fixed budgets, getting a single sum like this can seem like a windfall, even though it's technically a fix. In certain instances, these back payments alone can top $1,000. Now, we should address the tax agency directive that so many are asking questions about. The IRS has released internal orders to accelerate the handling of delayed refunds and corrections, with a particular focus on older citizens and filers with lower incomes. This does not signify that the IRS has commanded a fresh stimulus initiative. What it actually means is that long-standing backlogs are at last being addressed for seniors who've been waiting for corrections for many months or even years. This is a major development. The IRS has recognized that these delays created financial strain, and they are now giving these cases priority. It's also crucial to understand how this interacts with Social Security, supplemental security income, and Social Security disability insurance. Obtaining a tax refund or adjustment from the IRS is not classified as earned income for Social Security purposes. This generally means it won't shrink your monthly Social Security payment. For those on SSI, the regulations are more nuanced, but typically a one-time tax refund isn't counted as income in the month it's received. However, if those funds are saved and not used within a designated time frame, they could later be considered a resource. This is where smart planning becomes key. Many seniors are also hearing whispers that these payments could halt their Social Security or prompt an audit. That is incorrect. Legitimate payments issued by the IRS do not cancel your benefits. The real danger comes from fraudsters. Sadly, whenever large dollar figures make the news, scammers spring into action. Seniors are being bombarded with phone calls, emails, and texts pretending to help them access this $2,700 payment. The reality is straightforward. If you are qualified, the IRS or Social Security will process it automatically or will contact you via official postal mail. No legitimate representative will ever ask you to pay an upfront fee. give your banking details over the phone, or click on suspicious links sent to you. Let's discuss timing, because this is where anxiety often peaks. These funds are not all going out on one specific nationwide date. Instead, they are being distributed in stages. IRS corrections are being processed throughout the present tax period, with many payments going out each week. Some may see direct deposits while others will get paper checks. Social Security back payments follow a separate timetable and are issued after individual case reviews are finished. This means two people living next door to each other could hear the same news but receive their money weeks apart. Another topic generating misunderstanding is the link between retirement income and filing taxes. Even if you don't ordinarily file a tax return, you might still get an IRS correction if the agency already has sufficient data in their system. However, in some scenarios, seniors who haven't filed for several years may need to submit a basic return to initiate a review. This doesn't mean you owe money. Often, it's simply a required step to release funds that are due to you. This should be done with caution, preferably with assistance from a trusted source. It's also worth noting that several states are distributing their own support payments, tax refunds, or senior aid checks. These are completely separate from federal payments and differ greatly depending on where you live. When people hear about $2,700, they sometimes merge federal and state payments in their thoughts. This can create a muddled picture. Always distinguish between federal IRS activities and state-level programs when assessing your own position. Moving forward, the most vital thing for seniors is informed awareness, not alarm. Scrutinize your postal mail. Read any official IRS notices you get thoroughly. Ensure your Social Security contact details are current. If you use direct deposit, verify your bank information hasn't changed. Minor administrative errors can postpone payments, but they can typically be resolved. In the next segment, we'll dive into specific timelines, which individuals are most likely to qualify for larger sums, how to sidestep benefit issues, and the actionable steps seniors can implement right now to stay secure and in the know. Now that we've clarified the source of the $2,700 figure and why it's a topic of discussion, let's concentrate on what older Americans need to understand moving forward. This section is about achieving clarity, ensuring protection, and making wise choices, particularly for those living on limited incomes who can't afford unexpected setbacks. First, let's talk about who is most prone to see more substantial payments. Seniors who qualify for refundable tax credits from prior years are a primary group. This covers people who were eligible for stimulus-linked credits in the past but never received the complete amount they were owed. Many older Americans were uncertain during the earlier relief programs or thought they weren't qualified because they didn't file taxes. As the IRS fixes these records, the money is finally being sent out. Another group includes Social Security recipients who experienced postponements or mistakes in their benefit calculations. This can occur when earnings reports were updated late, when benefits were recalculated post-retirement, or when survivor benefits were modified. These retroactive payments aren't new money. They are funds that were owed. For seniors who have endured a wait, receiving a lump sum can be transformative, helping to pay for medical expenses, housing costs, or outstanding bills. We also need to address specific dates in a practical manner. There isn't one national payday for everyone. IRS correction payments are being released on an ongoing basis. Some seniors may have already noticed deposits, while others might wait several more weeks or longer. Social Security back payments depend on personalized case reviews. If you were recently informed of a correction, the payment often follows in the coming weeks, but schedules can differ. If you're concerned about missing something, the safest move is to carefully examine all official mail. IRS letters might appear daunting, but they usually explain the situation. Social Security notices detailed benefit modifications and payment information. Overlooking these letters can delay payments or cause confusion. If something is unclear, seek guidance from a trusted advisor instead of making assumptions. Now let's consider taxes and spending. One-time IRS payments are usually not taxable income if they are refunds or credits. Social Security back payments could have tax consequences depending on your total annual income. This doesn't automatically mean you'll owe money, but it's a factor to keep in mind. Planning can prevent shocks during the next tax season. For SSI recipients, managing lump sums demands additional care. While the payment itself may not be counted as income, holding large sums in your account for an extended period could influence eligibility down the line. Many seniors opt to use these funds for essential costs like housing, healthcare, or vital home maintenance. Knowing these guidelines helps preserve ongoing benefits. Scams continue to pose one of the greatest threats currently. Seniors are being instructed they must verify eligibility, pay handling fees, or act instantly to obtain the $2,700. This is a lie. Government entities do not use threats, create urgency, or demand payments through unsolicited calls or messages. If someone pressures you, consider it a major warning sign. Shielding your personal data is just as important as receiving the payment itself. It's also key to remember that financial aid doesn't solve every problem. While these payments can offer short-term help, lasting stability comes from comprehending your benefits, budgeting wisely, and staying updated. Changes to Social Security, Medicare premiums, and tax regulations happen frequently. Staying informed grants you control and confidence. If you assist a partner, parent, or older relative, please share this knowledge with them. Many seniors don't follow daily news updates and depend on family for advice. A simple discussion can prevent missed opportunities or expensive errors. Looking ahead, the core lesson is this. The $2,700 number symbolizes actual money for some seniors, but it isn't automatic for all, and it is not a singular new stimulus check. It originates from corrections, owed payments, and reconciliations that are now finally being addressed. Understanding this shields you from letdowns and fraud while enabling you to claim what you're rightfully owed. Remain patient, stay vigilant, and keep yourself informed. Check your records, watch for official correspondence, and don't make rushed decisions based on rumors. These updates are significant because they influence your income, your security, and your peace of mind. In conclusion, never forget why this knowledge is so vital. For older adults, every single dollar is important. Knowing how these payments function, when they could arrive, and how they interact with your benefits enables you to plan more effectively and avoid pitfalls. Staying informed isn't just about finances. It's about defending your future and maintaining your independence. Thank you for spending the time to understand these developments. If this breakdown brought you clarity and value, I would truly appreciate it if you would support my channel by giving this video a like. It helps more people who need this information find it. Continue to pay close attention to updates that affect your financial health.